Yo, guys, welcome to the Blue Podcast with me, Tom, Ben, and Daff today. Today is obviously replacing the Purple Show. We couldn't get the other two involved, and then the other two reserves involved, all busy. So Daff decided to come in and we're going to do a little...
reserve.
The Blue Podcast, just talking general football without a specific theme. Daff's a Spurs fan, which is going to get interesting with Ben later on in the podcast. But firstly, how are you boys doing?
Not bad.
Good, thanks.
Good. Obviously, been some interesting results lately. But before we get into the podcast, we're an ambassador of the new app called LinkMe. It's an app that makes juggling social media accounts easier than ever. Make sure to download the app, link at the top of our description, and make an account with our link so that we can eventually get paid money. Eventually, we're a long way away now after the first payment, but we move. It's been a good week of football, hasn't it, boys?
Interesting last few weeks. Sure.
Ish. Well, there's talking points for both City games.
Yeah.
Talking points for the both Spurs games.
Yeah.
All three Spurs games.
All three Spurs games. What do you have? 3 games this week.
Up and down results, mate. Up and down.
We'll start with Chelsea because obviously the tasty stuff's to come. It's just been a fine week. Not too much has happened. Obviously today there is the Carabao Cup final, which I'll be obviously watching. Beat Lyon 2-0 in the Champions League. Pretty standard, pretty easy. Lukaku was dropped for the game, and Kai Havertz scored.
Yeah.
So replacing 100 mil with 75 mil.
Yeah.
Replacing 100 mil with 75 mil.
Tough life,
real hard life that. But what are your thoughts on your guys' thoughts on Lukaku right now? Is he in the bin? Will he start today? Actually, the team's out right now. That's not half an hour. But what do you guys think of Lukaku?
Well, he just doesn't want to be there, does he? I don't. Like I said, we've spoken enough times about the interview that he gave. It was just stupid. I'm not really sure why he did it, but like I said, was it 7 touches in total
7 touches
against Palace, which is obviously you can blame the system to a point. You can show for the ball. And he just stood there for 90 minutes. He's just not interested. So it was right that he got dropped. And obviously it worked out in the end with how he scored.
It did. Ziyech injured a little bit as well, which is he scored 3 and 3 for us in the Premier League before that injury, which is not good. But what are your thoughts on Lukaku, Ben?
He like I say with that interview, he killed his Chelsea return basically. I don't know if that means that he won't be able to turn it back on at some point, but as it currently stands, he's just killed it basically. Like it's going nowhere. And so does that mean like you have a situation where you sort of done what you've done with Kepa, and he's on the bench in like players' cup games or whatever, or because like you're saying, if you're to sell him in the summer, then you're going to make loads of losses. But maybe you might want to just cut your losses. I don't know. But unless, like I say, unless he can turn it back on and he starts, scoring again, and then he'll obviously be your main striker, then where's it going? I don't know.
I think this summer the only way we'll sell him is if it's like a PSG with 80 mil, or who I think are the only club that can probably afford what we would cut our losses for, because Chelsea do not like cutting their losses at all. It's a bit crap really. But Havertz seems to be willing to fill his spot, which is good. Obviously played in the same role that Lukaku was in the Palace game, in the Lyon game, and did a fuckload more. To be honest, they did a lot more.
He's dynamic, isn't he? Like he actually moves. So
he actually moves.
Yeah. Shocking what happens when you move. But can you like make runs and stuff?
I wonder what your guys' thoughts are on the fact that Werner's very much kind of out the picture currently.
I was going to say that because he started in the Champions League final. Is that right? Yeah. And again, like I said, with Havertz, like if you make a run, you're doing more than Lukaku at the moment. So But the thing is with Werner, as bad, I mean, I don't know if he was always that bad in Germany. He just had so many chances. It didn't matter if he missed the sitters. But obviously, his finishing is just not the standard everyone thought it was going to be when he moved. But again, still, he's rapid. He's very similar to Son off the ball. He's just constantly, because he's so quick, he's constantly making that run. And you can't just let him go. Like you do have to track him and go with him. So I thought he might come back in, especially with Lukaku, but it doesn't appear as if he fancies him at all.
Yeah, I think it's been a mixture of COVID and like the odd like week off from injury and stuff like that. That's really hampered him. And obviously Ziyech this season being kind of the talisman of our attack at points, especially after January, has again further him and Pulisic playing a lot more. Obviously, has meant that Werner isn't, and I think Tuchel started to really warm to Pulisic because obviously he started playing him more as a 10 / a left winger rather than putting him out of position, and he's doing much better. And when he came on, came on against Lyon or was it came on against Palace? One of those two games he came on playing as a 10. I think it was the Palace game when he was in front of Lukaku and Havertz.
Are you saying Leon or Leo?
Leo.
Leo.
I've been saying Leon.
Yeah.
Leo. But yeah, and then he started against Lille again as well. Looked bright. But yeah, I mean, realistically, no one really knows what attack will start today, and pretty much every week. I don't think we've had a period of time, apart from right at the start of the season when it was Mount, Lukaku, Havertz for I think about 4 or 5 games where they actually played really well till injuries. That we've had the same front three. I'd be surprised if it's been that long.
You would think that it would stick with Havertz up front, like you said, with what he played against Leo. But you never know. You might think, you know what, I'll give Pogba, Lukaku a chance. I mean, it's effectively the same story. But yeah, give Lukaku a chance in the final. If he scores, gives him confidence. You know, he's like the guy again because he's scoring the final. I don't know.
The issue is though, if he doesn't score, he's probably done.
Yeah, so I think he'll stick with Havertz, to be honest with you.
It's very much risk. It's very much risk versus reward, because obviously the reward if Lukaku does score and we win, and then obviously like he then builds on that. Fantastic. That's probably the most ideal scenario out of the two. But if he does start and he pants and then we lose, and it's just
that's the worst scenario out of all of them.
So yeah, there's less risk with the Havertz, I'd say. You can always bring on Lukaku at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, there's not too much interesting stuff happening with Chelsea apart from with the Carabao Cup final, which will have the score predictions out within the hour of the game. Check us out obviously at the Blue Podcast 1 on Twitter. We do the predictions. I'm now on, how many points am I now on? 14. Jack's now in double figures. Daft still hasn't predicted a game yet. Ben, you're on 6 points.
I know. I've been like 1 goal away from getting prediction like 4 times in the last like few weeks, and it's always been like a last-minute goal that like I was predicted Arsenal 2-0 at one point, and then they conceded one. Like it's just like it's not happening for me at the moment, but it's all right. Jack's coming for you anyway, so it's all right.
Jack's coming for me for sure. But yeah, make sure you do obviously do any predictions for those games. We try and do every Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United, and Arsenal game. Obviously, if you join now, you may not obviously win the league, but then you obviously have the chance of winning it next season, because obviously we'll continue it next season, and the winner gets an item of merch of their choosing. Obviously, if I win it, then I'm not going to spend any money because I'm broke. But if someone else were to win it, maybe.
We might, and for Daft, we might be doing Spurs predictions next season.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Well.
Yes. Well, did you vote on our Twitter poll saying, do you want to see Spurs in our predictions?
I didn't see it. No.
I didn't see it. See, it was 50-50.
Oh, was it?
So if you'd seen it,
if I'd seen it, I would have tipped it.
You would have.
Oh, guys, no.
Yeah, next season.
Next
season for sure.
That's always the case with us. Next season.
Should we do our predictions now?
when we get to next season, we're like, we'll do next season. Yeah.
Mate, that's the motto with Spurs. Well, this season's gone. Next season.
It's always next season.
It's always next season.
Even though you've slowly been going further down the table ever since you lost. To
next season, though. Next season.
Oh yeah, next season.
It's the one.
If he's still there. If he's still there.
Christ.
Oh dear.
Very emotional, man.
He is a very emotional man. Do you want to speak about his interviews then? Because obviously you know most about them.
I love the bloke. I really do. But I think it is like he has said beforehand that he's so emotional after games that like he has to take the time to calm down before he comes out for interviews. But obviously sometimes he's still just too emotional. I think to be honest, I was pretty annoyed that we went from beating City at the Etihad and then lost to Burnley 1-0.
Ridiculously inconsistent. It's ridiculous.
That's the thing is, our two best performances under Conte this season came against Liverpool 2-2, but we should have put like 5 or 6 past them. That's not even over an exaggeration. The amount of sitters we missed in that game were ridiculous. And then obviously beating City 3-2 at the Etihad. And like I say, I wouldn't say it was a fluke. I thought we deserved it.
Do you agree with that statement, Ben?
I mean,
no.
I would say you deserved it, but it took like a last-minute goal to do it. So then I think a draw would have been a fair result. But yeah, that's football. That happens. So absolutely, yeah. But yeah, it's just beyond belief. I was there reading the scoreline against Burnley. They went 1-0 up, and I was like, "How? What? How is that?" They just played out the skin for against us, and then just done that to Burnley. Like, what's happening? Like, I don't get it.
The two best performances come against the two best teams in the league, but the two teams that play the highest line.
Yes.
So obviously, I mean, you've seen.
But we played quite a high line. You still lost 4 times.
Yeah, that's true. that is true. But it's like I said, us on the counter, we are incredible. Because it was the same with Conte's Inter as well. They were unbelievable on the counter, and you saw with against City and Liverpool, we just tore them.
I'd say against Leeds again as well.
Oh yeah, because they were again. That's Bielsa being naive. But yeah, to break down these low block teams, I think in Conte's system you need good wing backs. And the wing backs that played against Burnley, I think, were Sessegnon and Emerson.
Oh, okay.
Emerson is so bad going forward. It is unbelievable. So teams can essentially just sit back, watch Sessegnon side a bit more, and just leave the right flank open. Just say, go on, try and cross the ball. And he can't. He can't cross the ball. So we can't break these teams down that sit deep against us. These teams with the high line, we just tear them apart on the counter. And obviously that's going to annoy Conte that we can beat City but can't beat Burnley.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think he'll definitely stay in this until the end of the season. Then it's all about whether he gets backed in the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, before we move on to any more City or Spurs stuff, I want to get your predictions for the Carabao Cup game today. We'll start with Ben. It's Chelsea v Liverpool, obviously, if you didn't know.
It's going to be close.
Yeah.
But based purely on form, I'm going to go Liverpool 2-1.
You hurt my feelings there, Ben.
I know, but it's just that. I mean, you're not playing badly, but you're not playing amazing, and Liverpool are just grinding out results at the moment. So
I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea.
Oof.
I was going to go 2-1, but I deleted it and I've gone 2-1. 1-0.
I don't know. It's gonna be such a close game. In these big games,
what should be a completely open game, 5-4, something absolutely ridiculous.
That Champions League game, was it?
Well, they won.
Was it 4-4? The one time you played in the Champions League a few
years
against
ago. Ajax.
No. When you played Liverpool,
was it?
It was ages ago. Talking 10 years ago. So it was something like 4-4 in one of the games.
It was a while ago.
I'm gonna go Chelsea on pens, I think. Chelsea on
Well,
pens.
we have drawn both times we face each other this season.
Yeah.
But what's the
0-0 Chelsea on pens. That's my prediction, because I think in these big games you're so difficult to score against, and I say like you're not amazing going forward at the moment.
No.
It takes a KDB beauty, you know what I mean?
Like, yeah. It's one of those games, but I think you want pens, I think.
Yeah. I mean, obviously anything can happen. It can go like either team can win. Because, like you say, Chelsea is so difficult to score against. It's ridiculous. But just based purely on form, Liverpool are in the better form. So
we haven't lost for a very long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but Liverpool are a bit more free flowing. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah.
But obviously it's a final, so form sort of goes out the window a bit, but also doesn't. Like so, it's
Well, could it be a repeat of the Intramural Cup final?
Jeez.
2 goals outside the box and a vicey. Bloody hell. That'd be a great game.
5-4 on pens.
That'd be phenomenal. That would be
hopefully the ref lets the game go a little bit longer. Because anyway, for people, this is completely out of context. My team that I'm captain / manager of just won the Intramural Cup at Swansea in a very stressful penalty shootout by the end. Good night out though.
It was great. It was a good watch.
Good watch. Are you going for the league next, or?
Yeah, so we're still undefeated. We've got 3 games left. We are currently 2 points ahead of second place, and we've still got to play second place.
Oof.
It's getting tight.
Very, very tight. Very, very stressful. But speaking of stressful, do you feel a little bit more stressed now you've lost to Spurs and they're not far behind you now, Liverpool, are
they? Yeah, I mean, obviously, like wouldn't say I'm more stressed, but obviously it's closer. But effectively, you're in a sort of the same situation. You just have to keep on winning. But what I would say is that I do think it's Liverpool are a lot more. Basically, I can't see Liverpool dropping points, but I can see City dropping points. So I do think I'm not saying we're going to lose it, but I do think it will change hands at the top, even by the end of March, because we play United. We play United next week,
and that's early now.
And it's one thing. We're playing at the Etihad. We don't win derbies at the Etihad. It just doesn't happen. We've won like one of the last like 7 at the Etihad for derbies. Like it's ridiculous.
Wow.
We just don't win them at home. And 2, it's a 4:30 kickoff on a Sunday, and we stink at that time.
That is actually a common trend.
Yeah, like we don't do it. Like we just don't win at that time. So yeah, obviously, yeah. And again, it's a derby. Form goes out the window. Anything can happen. When you got Ronaldo in your team and their attack, they've always got a chance. So I'm not confident.
It's a weaker attack though now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's Ronaldo, isn't it? Still Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not confident for that game. But it's good that we won yesterday because it gives us that leeway for if we do lose the derby, that we'll be level on points then if they win their game in hand, which they will, because like I say, I can't see them dropping points. So yeah, I do think it will change hands. I'm not saying we're going to lose it, but I do even by the end of March, that could happen. Like I said, Liverpool are just grinding out result after result after result, and they and I know people are like, well, I couldn't see City dropping points, but even after the Southampton result, I thought there's going to be a result that comes up soon that's just gonna change it, and that was obviously the Spurs result, and that's just typical City Spurs result. That's just what happens when we play Spurs. But yeah, what do you call? Yeah, even with that result, Liverpool have the momentum now. They just do. They have the momentum.
Yeah.
And Liverpool will have the tails up. They'll be like, right, this we've got a chance here, like, you know. So it's
going away from them, but
yeah. I mean, obviously, like there's been a lot made of like City were 12 points ahead at one point. Like, what's happened? But it was always a false position because we were played like 2-3 games more. So like it was always a false position. But obviously, there's people making stuff of that, but it's not really anything. But like, yeah, their tails will be up, and their confidence will go up as well because of that. So it's going to be difficult. I'm not saying we're going to lose it, but I do think that it will change hands, and it's going to be difficult, and I'm not confident for the derby. So yeah,
you feeling less confident as well after yesterday's result, considering you shouldn't have even won.
I wouldn't say less confident.
To be fair, though, I think as bad as Everton are, Goodison, when it's like that, it's such a hard place for anyone to go. So at the end of the day, they should have had a penalty. They should have had a penalty.
Like in terms of we'll get onto the handball, but in terms of the performance especially first half, that obviously that doesn't give you confidence.
No,
but in terms of the result, that'll definitely give you confidence. You're like, oh, we've won a game there that we shouldn't really have won.
Yeah,
so that's league title kind of.
So we're able to grind out a result there, so that will give you a little bit of confidence. But again, with the derby being next week, it's like. So yeah, but yeah, obviously, absolutely, we got away with one with that penalty. It's stonewall handball, stonewall penalty. Yeah. Don't know what the why they didn't give it. They were like, wasn't enough evidence. It's like, well, there was.
There is.
They're like, if that was an Everton player doing that against City, I'd be like, I'd be distraught. I'd be like, why is that not like how it's unfathomable?
Yeah.
Like it just. It's like the handball decision against United with Middlesbrough. That's the level it's on. It's just completely ridiculous.
I'd say it's almost worse than the Middlesbrough one, because the Middlesbrough one was actually just the rules didn't allow it to be overturned.
Yeah,
that one was just the VAR guy going, eh.
But again, I mean, effectively, yeah, I guess, but effectively, it's similar in the sense that. The Middlesbrough one was whether it was a goal or not, and this one might have missed the penalty, but probably would have scored it. Is effectively whether it would be a goal or not. So it's in the sense that's the same in that sense. But yeah, I mean, I was saying to you before the stream, like, obviously, I'm not complaining today, but I'm sure I'll be complaining about a decision against City in a couple of weeks' time. It swings and roundabouts. It happens, and like Liverpool. I was saying before the stream as well, like people saying, "Oh, you can't say Liverpool anymore." That's like, you're getting these decisions like as if Liverpool have never had a decision go for them ever.
Yeah.
Like that is just complete bollocks. Like they had that penalty against Palace that was ridiculous. Like stuff like that. It's just but yeah, again, swings and roundabouts. That I'll be complaining about a decision. I'm pretty sure of it in a few weeks' time. So yeah.
Fair enough. Well, is there any more Premier League fixtures this week?
West Ham Wolves is currently on, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
0-0 still.
No.
1-0.
Oh, 1-0 West Ham.
Souček celebrates birthday with opening goal.
What do we think about Wolves? Do we think they have a chance at top 4? Because I spoke to my mate about this, and when he suggested it, I was like, they'll never do that. But then I actually looked at the table. And they're grinding results out, and they're really difficult to score against. So
if they can fix the goal scoring thing, which they seem to be starting to do, then
I think there's still an outside chance, aren't they? But when they said like Wolves top 4, no. But then I looked and I was like, they might be there and about towards the end of the season.
Well, obviously they're losing to West Ham and Arsenal, but they beat Leicester, which isn't that hard anymore. They beat you. Lost to Arsenal again.
Yeah, they can't seem to beat Arsenal.
I mean, that was outrageous as well. Coming back that late with the Lacazette goal. Shocking.
Yeah.
It was really,
off, mate.
really muggy. I wasn't here, and I just remember checking my phone and going, "Fuck."
Don't get me wrong. Wolves have got a chance, but I'd probably say Europa League for them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, should we talk about the league as it stands?
Yeah.
And we can maybe talk about the lower league, the bottom of the table as well, because it's actually very hot down there, very hot and spicy. So we've got City obviously in first place with 66 points, played 27. Liverpool on 60 points, played 26. Chelsea on 50, played 25. So obviously if Liverpool win their game in hand, they're 3 points behind City. If Chelsea win their 2 games in hand, they're 10 points behind City. There's a bit of a gap. I think there could be a bit of a gap eventually with Chelsea and the 4th place, which is good for us.
Yeah.
Kind of put a bit less stress on us. We're kind of in limbo now. Right now, it's like we keep on winning our games. It doesn't really mean anything. But if we start losing our games, then it's like we're getting brought into that top 4 battle, which we don't really want.
I think you're clear of the rest of the league, but then like a little bit behind the other 2, which I think is mainly because you were forced to play all your fixtures in December, where other teams
had rests.
Yeah, had rests.
We've played the most teams of any. We've played the most games of any Premier League team.
Well, so that you've had a few off now with the.
We were playing at the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
So
you meant total. You mean, okay.
Total.
I thought you meant just in Prem.
Oh no, I mean total.
Yeah,
Cup games. All that stuff. United 27 played 47 points. West Ham 27 played 45 points. Arsenal on 24 games played 45 points. So let's say they get up to 27 games played. That's 9 points. 53 points. That's not bad. That's 3 points behind us if we win.
One of their games in hand is Spurs.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they've still got to play.
I think they've got to play us as well.
They've got to play you. I think they might play Liverpool twice. I'm not sure. They've definitely got to play City again.
Yeah.
No, they played us twice.
Have they?
Oh, have they? Oh yeah, they have. You beat them at the. Oh yeah, when they pressed you for half an hour and they celebrated it like they won the league, and then they didn't even win the game. But, no, they've got to play us, and I don't think they've beaten us at home since something like 2012, 2013. It's been that long. So, and that'll be the first North London derby in our new stadium with full capacity crowd. It'll be the first one. We haven't played one yet because of COVID. So I can't see them coming there because the atmosphere is going to be incredible. So I can't see them coming to our place and beating us.
Fair enough.
Touch wood. It'd be
touch wood. Oh wait, this is fake MDF.
Oh god. No.
So yeah, Arsenal there. Spurs just below with an extra game in hand, 42 points. Yeah, looking at Wolves on 40 points, but have played 26, so they can get to 2 points behind West Ham. But yeah, it is looking like maybe a Europa or a Conference League spot for them. Don't care about the middle. Norwich are last again on top and played 26, 17 points. Watford and Burnley are ahead, 19 and 21 respectively. But Burnley have 2 games in hand, and so do Everton on the teams around them. Brentford are involved now because Newcastle are in 14th.
Newcastle are in really good form.
Yeah, they've got 2 games in hand on Brentford as well.
Are they like unbeaten in like 5-6 games or 7 games?
6 games now.
They got form.
6 games unbeaten.
I haven't got the form. But yeah, they're doing very well. They're doing very, very well. But, who do you? We'll finish on this. Who do you guys think will be the 3 that get relegated?
My prediction at the start of the season was Norwich, Burnley, and Southampton, because Southampton's form at the end of last season was awful.
And now they're not.
And like I said, and then the players they brought in the summer were like relatively unknown players. Obviously, you knew who Livramento was because he's a Chelsea lad.
Ambrosia.
But I don't think anyone knew that they were going to be as successful as they have been. So that's why I thought Southampton were going to go down, but they're clear now. I still think Norwich will go down, even though they've started winning a few games.
Yeah.
I think it will be Norwich, Watford.
I'm between Leeds and Brentford.
Yeah, same. Because I don't know how Jesse Marsh will do with Leeds.
Yeah.
I don't think Everton and Burnley will go down. I don't think Newcastle will go down.
I'm going to say Norwich, Watford, and Brentford is going to be my...
Wow. Norwich, Watford, Brentford. Leeds have a goal difference of -31.
They conceded 20 goals this month alone.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's a Premier League record.
Wow. All right, well, mine's Norwich, Watford, Leeds. Ben?
Norwich, Watford. I'll go Brentford, just because it'd be, maybe there might be a new manager bounce with Jesse Marsh, but I don't know. But yeah.
Well, fair enough. Well, that's our predictions for the bottom three. We've spoken about our teams respectively and all the teams around us. So I think that's covered everything. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. If you enjoyed, please do give us a like and subscribe. If you're new around here, that 900 subscriber thing's still going strong, and it probably will still going strong in March, which is that's when we started asking for 900 subs in like November. But
this time next week. This time next week, you might see me crying because we've lost to United, but it's all good.
Yeah, well, we'll try and get a Purple Show properly out next Sunday. When's the Batman out? Well, there'll probably be a Gradient show for the Batman as well. Remember that comes out. Try and do a Blue podcast as well, so we try and get everything back on track. Obviously, check our socials at the Blue Podcast one on Twitter and Instagram, at the Blue Podcast on TikTok. Check out LinkMe as well and make an account for that. Would be fantastic. And yeah, that's everything I wanted to cover today. How are you guys doing? Happy with that?
Good. Yeah.
All right. See you guys for one of the next shows. I have absolutely no idea which one it is.